Hello everyone, welcome to your weekly tarot reading for Sagittarius, July 20th through July 26th. Sagittarius, let's take a look at what you can expect next week. Let's see which cards come up for you and what energies may be surrounding you from July 20th through July 26th. So, Sagittarius, let's see. The first card for the next week is the Seven of Pentacles. This is a card of waiting, it's a card of patience and acceptance. So next week you may find yourself waiting for a certain outcome, and there is no guarantee that you'll actually get the result you're hoping for. Of course, we'll look at the rest of the cards, but based on this first card alone, I'm seeing a strong desire to see some kind of result. The only question is whether that result will actually come. For some of you, this may also relate to documents or paperwork. For example, you're waiting for official documents or paperwork to be processed next week. You may find yourself in a waiting period. This card can also apply to relationships. Perhaps you're waiting for someone to reach out, call you, send you a message, or finally make a move, but that person may not do it, leaving you feeling a little bit disappointed or frustrated. The Seven of Pentacles often remind us that our expectations don't always match reality. Sometimes what we hope for doesn't unfold the way we imagined it would. After all, it represents a harvest. It suggests that you will receive something eventually. The only question is whether it will happen soon and whether this situation will continue to develop. For example, in business, this card can sometimes point to a one-time project. You may receive some profit or a positive result, but whether there will be more opportunities after that remains a big question. So now let's take a look at your second card. The Five of Swords. To be honest, I don't really like this card because the Five of Swords is a card of conflict. It represents challenges, disagreements, arguments, and difficult situations. It suggests that next week you may experience some kind of resistance or perhaps an unpleasant conversation. And here's how these cards may play out. It looks like you could find yourself feeling uncertain or emotionally unsettled. You may be waiting for the person you've had a disagreement or conflict with to be the first one to reach out, to rebuild the friendship, to restart the conversation. So this can be a period of waiting after a conflict, hoping that the other person will take the initiative. The Five of Swords can also indicate simply witnessing a conflict. However, based on the way these cards are laid out, I'm leaning more toward the idea that you will be directly involved in some kind of disagreement or tension next week. This conflict could be about almost anything. For some of you, it may happen in a relationship. For others, it could be connected to work, co-workers, or the workplace. And for some, it may be something completely unexpected. For example, you could have an argument with a stranger while you're out somewhere. Afterward, you may keep thinking about it, wishing you had said something different. What's interesting though is that at the bottom of the deck we have the Queen of Wands. For many of you women, this card may represent you. It shows you as a confident, attractive, charismatic, and full of positive energy next week. For the men watching, the Queen of Wands can represent a woman you'll be interacting with some way. It's even possible that this conflict could involve a woman. Could involve in women. Sometimes the card at the bottom of the deck give us an additional clue. So now, Sagittarius, let's take a look at your third card for the next week. Let's see what else may be coming up next week for Sagittarius. The Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands, overall, this isn't a bad card. However, it does represent cautious emotional exhaustion and a certain level of distrust. You may find it difficult to trust someone or even trust a particular situation next week. At the same time, this card also shows that you'll have the strength to stand up for yourself. You'll be able to defend your boundaries, stand by your opinions, and protect what matters to you. However, you may also notice that energetically you don't have much left for anything beyond that. On a more practical level, the Nine of Wands can simply indicate feeling tired next week. Now let's take a look at your fourth and final card for the next week, Sagittarius, the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is a very interesting card because it's a card of destiny. It reminds us that life is constantly changing. Everything is always moving and every situation has the potential to change. Even conflicts or difficult experiences can eventually turn into something positive. For example, you may have an argument with someone and feel upset about it at first, but later on you may realize that this conflict happened for a reason. Perhaps it was meant to help you let go of something that no longer belongs in your life or to encourage you to make an important change. The Wheel of Fortune is also an unpredictable card. For some of you, it may bring a fortune turn of events. You might find yourself in a situation that wasn't supposed to happen, yet somehow everything falls into place exactly as it needed to. For others, however, the Wheel of Fortune may represent an important life lesson, a lesson that helps you grow or teaches you something valuable through your own experiences. The Wheel of Fortune also reminds us that not everything is under our control. Now let's see what advice the cards have for you. The World. First of all, this card can point to travel, movement, or getting out into the world, so try to stay active next week. The World also encourages you to explore something new. It could be a new hobby, an interesting book, a documentary, or a topic you've never really looked into before. Open yourself up to new experiences and new knowledge. Another important message from the world is to finish what you've already started. So, this is your weekly tarot reading for Sagittarius for the week of July 20th through July 26th. And actually, complete unfinished tasks, according to this card.